captures the most coveted prize of his career, the 2000 NASCAR Busch Grand National Championship. TNN Sports has come to Memphis, Tennessee, the home of the Blues, where the ticket taker is indeed the hardest working employee on the grounds today, because the NASCAR fans have flocked to the Memphis Motorsports Park to enjoy Championship Sunday. The Samstown 250 is on the air as we crown the NASCAR Busch Series champion for the year 2000. Last week at the North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham, a thrilling last lap pass gave Jeff Green the win. But with his teammate Jason Keller finishing third, it meant that Green could not wrap up the title a weekend ago. It has to carry over to today, where merely starting the event will eliminate Keller, Bodine, Harvick, and Hornaday from any championship contention, and Jeff Green will be crowned the king.
No different than the New York Yankees had their skipper in Joe Torre. This number 10 race team has had their skipper, crew chief Harold Holley. In 1988, Harold moved here from his hometown in Pell City, Alabama, to join the late Alan Kawicki's Winston Cup team. He's no stranger to title searches. In 1995, his team with Chad Little finished second. Last year as well, they was runner-up to Dale Earnhardt Jr. The thing that Harold has brought to this race team and taught them is dedication, focus, and commitment. And at the end of the day, just like Joe Torre and the New York Yankees, they'll get to have the same feeling of being champions.
It's Halloween weekend, and Jeff Green certainly wins the prize for the most original and the best costume for this Halloween weekend. He's coming dressed as the 2000 NASCAR Busch Series champion. Jeff, congratulations on a great year. Can you make it 2 wins in a row on TNN?
Glenn, you can't see how big I'm smiling in this helmet, but yeah, I think we can. Our Nesquik Chevy's awfully good today, and we want to put a little icing on the cake here today and try to win this race for Nesquik and everybody involved. My whole PPC race team's just awesome. I got Jason Keller second in the points, and he's my teammate. Very proud of them, and just looking forward to today.
Well, Eli, Nesquik is certainly his favorite drink, but he's looking for 7 and 7 here today. He's got 7 poles, looking for that 7th win.
And he might just pull it down. Glenn, thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Memphis, Tennessee. Glad you're able to join us here this afternoon. Let's put into perspective what Jeff Green has done. There have been 29 races run already this season. Only 5 times has he finished below 10th place. Or let's put it another way. Back in 1984, the great Sam Ard won the NASCAR Busch Series championship. He put Jack Ingram away by an unheard of 426 points. People said that would be a number never to be touched in the future. Well, not only has Jeff Green touched that number, but right now his point lead, as we showed you moments ago, is 536 over second place. He's blown Sam Ard's record away. Buddy Baker, when you stop to think about it, what we've seen this year from Jeff Green is really without precedent in NASCAR racing.
No question about it. He started out in Daytona on his roof, ended up 42nd, but since then, 22 top 5s, 24 top 10s, and 29 starts, and 7 poles. They've done it all. He and Harold Holley, they remind me of the great champions of the past. They've earned it.
Oh, and by the way, folks, this obviously is Halloween weekend leading up to the holiday. Don't you like Buddy's mask? I think it's...
Whoa, I talk. The mirrors are broke at your house, I can tell you that.
But one thing the drivers have done, they're celebrating Halloween with some unique paint jobs. We'll take a look at them and a whole lot more as we come back with coverage of the Samstown 250. It's live on TNN from Memphis, Tennessee.
Start your engines.
After all, this is Memphis, Tennessee, and Elvis is here at the track. In fact, he's in the field. He starts 14th. But the Elvis that we have seen is Jason Keller's number 57 race car that he has affectionately nicknamed Elvis. This is Jason's favorite car. Every time he has run it this year, it has finished in the top 5 except one time. He thinks that Elvis has one more number 1 hit. He was fastest in happy hour yesterday afternoon. Jason Keller thinks he can win with Elvis here today at Memphis.
He apparently has not left the building. Let's check out the race analysis for today's running of the Samstown 250. 250 laps on a 3/4 mile racetrack is 187.5 miles around, and the teams will be battling for a purse, as you see, approaching $1 million here this afternoon on a beautiful day for racing. A little bit of an overcast temperature in the high 70s, low 80s. Now, if you're not familiar with the Memphis Motorsports Park, those are the numbers at the 3/4 of a mile. 1,100 feet on the straightaways, banking 11 degrees in the turn, 4 degrees on the straights. It's kind of like Richmond. Some guys say it's a little like Myrtle Beach. Some say it's a little like South Boston. It's somewhere in there, buddy.
Yes, it is. And the one thing I've noticed about the racetrack, talking to the driver, is getting into turn 3. It's very easy to overdrive that corner. And several wrecks in practice here have happened in turn 3 and coming off turns 2.
Let's take a look at the starting grid for today's running of the Samstown 250. Jeff Green, Kevin Harvick, Casey Atwood, Elton Sawyer, youth and veterans alike. You'll be seeing some new names like B. Parker. That's Billy Parker, Catfish. There's Hank Parker Jr. Oh, and you see Tim Fedua set to go, feeling healthy after his motorcycle accident of a week or so ago.
Yes, I talked to him. He says he's in great shape. He worked out twice this week. He said, I'm 96% what I should be. And you know, he has 3 cracked vertebrae in his back. But I tell you, he's a very tough individual. So he plans to go the whole distance.
There you see some of the fellows who are making headlines in their own tracks. Andy Kirby is there. A newcomer in the number 20, Scott Wimmer, moving into the from the ASA. Ted Christopher is here from the Busch North Series. Of course, Kyle Petty making his inaugural visit to the Memphis Motorsports Park. And there you see some of the veterans down the line who have had to use provisionals. There have been some adjustments made in the starting lineup. Lyndon Amick having to go to a backup car, so he starts from the rear. The 37 of Kevin Grubb having to start from the rear. Also an unauthorized engine change today for Mike McLaughlin. He'll go to the rear. And look at Justin Labonte, number 44. He was already set to go home. He was out of the field, did not have a provisional spot available to him. But NASCAR officials announced this morning that the qualifying time for Richard Jarvis Jr. had been disallowed due to a rules infraction that talked about tires that, in the judgment of NASCAR officials, had been altered by any unauthorized treatment. And that, of course, is not permitted. So Richard Jarvis Jr., with no provisional available, would not compete today. And the number 44 of Justin Labonte will make the race with a provisional starting in the 43rd spot. So we've had a few changes in the starting grid here today. There you see Ted Musgrave. Randy LaJoy will be giving us a ride around the Memphis Motorsports Park. Jeff Purvis, he'll be starting now in 17th spot, moving up with the other guys having dropped back. Jason Keller. Todd Bodine starting near the front. Others up near the start. Elton Sawyer going in 4th spot. And, of course, the man on the pole, Jeff Green. What a spectacular feeling this has got to be coming to a championship. You know, Eli, one thing I've noticed about Jeff Green this year, he races to win every race. That's what's got him where he's at in the point standing. Great team. Now, we're going to be riding with Jeff Green. Just by starting today's race, he'll win the Busch Series championship. Let's enjoy it with him. doesn't take long for the beating and banging to start.
Eli, they just black flagged the Kevin Harvick car, I believe. I noticed the black flag was out. That's too bad. I think he anticipated the start there and jumped in.
So Kevin Harvick will be coming in for a stop-and-go penalty. And Jeff Green leads lap number 1 here in Memphis, Tennessee. Problems on the back straightaway. That's the Brandon Butler automobile, number 83, going around. No caution yet, and apparently none forthcoming as Butler is able to pull away. Last year was the first time the Busch Series ran here, and we had 10 cautions for 71 laps. Here comes Kevin Harvick now. He'll make that unscheduled stop for the stop-and-go penalty here on lap number 3.
Boy, that's crushing. He has a very good race car, but by the time he gets back out there, here comes the leader's guy to put him 1 lap down.
Everybody's sorting themselves out here on the start, but the smiles are already abundant in the Jeff Green pit, Glenn. Harold Holley is a champion.
Yeah, they've been saluting Jeff ever since. And Harold, it's official now. You're the champions. Congratulations on a great, great year.
I appreciate it. I tell you, I don't really know how to feel about it just yet. Jeff's doing an awful good job out there. We just want to win this race today and capitalize on everything. I'd just like to thank everybody that's helped this team. And Greg Pollock, all the efforts that they put forward to give us what we need to do this deal with. Jeff's an awesome machine for a driver, and this is an awesome victory right here. We're going to try to show him something today.
Well, they're the guy he's chasing, and I got some advice, Harold. Just smile and be happy. That's all you got to do.
Might as well enjoy it at this point, no doubt about that, as Jeff Green, as you see, leading for the 18th time in 30 events this season.
Boy, that car is really hooked up. Second is Jay Sauter right now with Elton Sawyer putting a lot of heat on them. And just behind them, finishing the year out, Todd Bodine. He'll move into Western Cup next year, driving Travis.
Meanwhile, that's 7th place now. Tim Fedua taking in and moving up to 6th, ahead of Atwood. The 00, Buckshot Jones. The Alltel 92, that's Jimmy Johnson. 3/4 of a mile. You need some good forward bite, as the teams will tell you here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. But there is really a fine line there between just turning and a lot of forward bite at this racetrack.
Absolutely, and you see Jimmy Johnson right there drifting out as he goes in the corner there, and when he gets back in the accelerator, he's got good forward bite off the corner, driving away from Phil Parsons in the 59 car. But that's the key to this racetrack, from here to the straightaway.
Your car has to be able to turn well getting into the corners, and then have the bite to stick well coming off the turn. And then you have to have right here, coming off the corner, the big horsepower to go down the straightaways, or you're going to get left behind.
And the other thing, at the end of this straightaway, you must use the brakes pretty hard, getting down into only 11-degree corners.
We are working under green here in Memphis, Tennessee. We've had some beating and banging already, but Jeff Green leads 10 laps in. 7/10 of a second showing the way here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. Glad you're with us on TNN Sports. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Larry McReynolds. Jay Sauter running in the 2nd spot. Elton Sawyer 3rd. Todd Bodine is 4th, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. runs 5th. There's the number 1 of Randy LaJoie. He's running back in 34th spot, and look at the brake rotors. Look at those brakes just glowing as he steps on it right there in the corner.
That's going into the corner. You see the shock absorber right there going up and down. There's your spring right there. Your weight jacker is right there.
But look here, buddy. He's on a straightaway, and you see it's still glowing. The brakes are now, obviously, now he's in the turn. But even on the straightaway, he must be touching the brake pedal.
Well, he probably don't realize it, but he's resting his left foot on the brake pedal, and it's creating a little bit of heat. Not much, but you can see when he gets down near the corner, he really lays down on the brake pretty hard there.
So you watch Randy LaJoie there on the left of the screen, working behind the 34 of David Green, trying to make their way to the front. Larry McReynolds, how about tires here at Memphis? It's a fairly new racetrack. Is it tough on Goodyear's?
Well, it is hard on the tires, Eli, but Goodyear's brought a fairly conservative tire here. It's kind of a hard tire. I talked to some of the teams yesterday, and they said their fastest lap was 25 or 30 laps into a run. Now, that could certainly go into some different strategy because track position is so important. And even though they're allowed 3 sets under caution, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these teams have a lot of tires. I'm impressed with, we've run 20 laps, and based on last year, contrary to last year, we hadn't had a caution yet.
Indeed so. Last year, as we mentioned, we had 10 cautions for 71 laps, and they were coming fast and furious. Justin Labonte takes the Slim Jim car to the garage area. Short afternoon for him, but by basis of qualifying, he wasn't even going to be racing here. But because of a rules infraction on the part of another team, Richard Jarvis's run being disallowed because of concern about tires that in NASCAR's judgment were altered by unauthorized treatment. That allowed Justin Labonte get into the field and starting 43rd spot.
You could just say you're not allowed to soak your tires in a softening agent.
Well put.
Yes.
Or, according to the record book, Rule 20A-10.8.4, letter N, tires in the judgment of NASCAR have been altered by unauthorized treatment will not be permitted.
Oh, boy. A little more than I wanted to know. Looking at Mike Dillon there, of course, he's the son-in-law of Richard Childress. You see very hard down in the corner, and you could tell how soft these cars are set up to get a good side bite on the racetrack. Front end looked like it was right down there. The back end kicks out on the 21 of Mike Dillon. And 3 wide down into turn 1.
McLaughlin with an unauthorized engine change earlier today. And that blue and white number 48, he comes out of that battle and moves up to the 29th spot. 63, Mark Green. 13, one of the youngsters, Brad Baker. Gary here today. Remember him from his days at Nashville Speedway, USA?
Absolutely. And you know, Dennis Adcox is the crew chief on that 13 car for Brad Baker, a good friend of ours. And
he loves working with these young drivers, too. He loves molding these youngsters.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of potential in Brad Baker. He does very well up in the Fairgrounds Raceway up there in Nashville.
That's 10th, 11th, and 12th on your screen. Keller, Jimmy Johnson, and Phil Parsons. I asked Phil how he was running. I saw him this morning in the garage. He said, so-so, but there's time to adjust. Meanwhile, Jason Keller, second in points, 10th on the racetrack right now, Glenn.
Eli, Jason Keller was awfully excited, looking forward to today's race. This was a brand new car last year starting this race. He got involved in an accident, crashed the car, had to put both front and rear clips on the car, and now it is his favorite race car, as I said earlier in the show. But he was quickest in happy hour yesterday. He really felt good about his chances. Early on here, there haven't been many positions change hands because everybody's on fresh tires. Jason has moved up from 14th up into the top 10 and continues to run lap speeds nearly as fast as his teammate and race leader Jeff Green. Jason thinks he might have a car to beat.
But there's lots of racing yet to go. As you see on track, lapping now beginning. As down a lap goes Sammy Reagan. And we come back in a moment. It was 7/10 of a second. It is now only 4/10 of a second from the 10 with whom we're riding, Jeff Green. Back to second place, Jay Sauter. You can keep up with where your favorites are running. NASCAR timing and scoring there in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Sponsored by Napa. You want to know why do you need genuine Napa replacement parts? Simple. Because some things just can't be replaced. In traffic and fairly quickly here at Memphis Motorsports Park.
Yeah, and these are good race cars that are going a lap down right now. And I tell you, Jeff Green has done this all year long. It seems the longer he runs on a green flag run, the better the car works. And right now, he's got it all working in his favor.
Jamie McMurray in that orange and white number 71 just ahead. He made an unscheduled stop a short while ago. Already finds himself 3 laps down and is about to be lapped by the race leader, potentially so. And there's that progression for Jay Sauter. That's he in the 43 car. One of two Sauters in the field, Tim Sauter, is also here driving the number 61 car. You look around, you got Tim Sauter here. You've got Jimmy Johnson here. A lot of fellas who have graduated from the ASA, the American Speed Association, something you're going to be getting a full diet of starting next year, buddy.
Absolutely, and you can see by that move in traffic there, he earned it the hard way. ASA has brought so many great stars into Western Cup. I can think about Alan Kowicki,
Mark Martin, Rusty
Wallace on down the line. So many of those guys, and ASA is your grassroots racing. I can't wait to get over there and start that next year.
Of course, TNN Sports expanding their coverage of the American Speed Association and the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, effective with the start of the 2001 racing season. The 07, Billy Parker. Watch Jeff Green there on the right of your screen. He's that yellow car.
Oh, he gives him a little shot there. Brad Baker was lucky to hold on to that 13. He got a shot from Jeff Green. You know, there's no horns on here, but that was a little aggressive there for a guy that's got the championship wrapped up. And certainly he would like to win this race. You bump him like that, and the next time you come upon him, they might not let you get by so easy.
Black 07, that was just passed. That is Billy Parker. Catfish Parker, who has tested here and raced this year in the American Racing Association, brother, of course, of Hank Parker. Another of the up-and-coming young drivers. That's the battle for the lead, and look there, Sauter, last time by, more effective on the numbers. He was quicker than Green was.
You know, sometimes there's an advantage to being in second spot like Sauter is right now. Everybody's looking for Green to come up and put him a lap down, and when Sauter gets up there, they're already a lap down. They'll move over and let him go on by.
Now Jeff Green having to bypass his brother Mark Green, who drives the number 63. Three Green brothers out there, Jeff in the 10, Mark in the 63, and former NASCAR Busch Series champion David Green, who drives the 34. If you're a fan of Justin Labonte, he is coming back onto the racetrack after an extended stay in the garage. He's well off the pace being set by Jeff Green. To do what we all do, check out NASCAR online before, during, after the race, anytime throughout the week. There are interviews, there are chat sessions, all the latest NASCAR news at NASCAR.com. That is NASCAR Online, your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. Check it out and make sure you're up to date on all the latest happenings from all of the NASCAR Touring Series. That's the battle for the lead. It's now, as you see, just a car length and a half separating Jeff Green and Jay Sauter.
Jay Sauter's really strong getting in the corners. They come up on Mike McLaughlin now to put him a lap down.
A lot of guys have gone from running very, very well to running rather poorly here in a short period of time. We mentioned before the break Justin Labonte. He has returned to the racetrack. He is 27 laps down, but he is back out there in the Slim Jim machine as Sauter closes in on a bid for the race lead.
Yeah, and Sauter looked so good. You know, he started out this year in Daytona with a fourth-place finish, and the car's been up there many, many times in contention, but just hadn't had the year that Jay was expecting. Very, very outstanding in the Truck Series before he started in the Craftsman Truck Series. He was an outstanding star. Now, look at him. He's up there contending for the lead here against the point champion, Jeff Green.
Another graduate of the ASA Tour to make a name now in NASCAR competition. Saw the foot Mike McLaughlin a lap down seconds ago, running in 32nd spot. You know who's probably one of the quickest guys out there? Maybe one of the quickest guys out there is, unfortunately for him, a lap down, and that's Kevin Harvick. If you weren't with us at the very beginning of the race, that guy jumped the start. He came in for a stop-and-go penalty and came back out a lap down, but as he goes by Andy Kirby now, he is on the clocks, the third fastest driver out there, but unfortunately, buddy, he's a lap behind.
And the one thing that one lap, he's really one of the fastest cars out there, but he's having to go through lap traffic that they're having problems right now with the cars sticking. A lot of them jumping sideways, you see right there. Cars coming off the corner sliding out, and he's having to use a lot more brake right now. If he was on a clear racetrack like the leaders are at the moment, he would probably be the fastest car, period.
Earlier this week, in case you missed it, NASCAR officials notified the Busch Series teams. It was on Wednesday, actually. They issued a technical bulletin that said the carburetor boosters in the venturi holes of the carburetor must now be secured in place by a steel wire not less than 25/100ths of an inch in diameter. That all reads well and good, but Larry McReynolds, what does that mean in English?
Well, if you look at the carburetor, and again, we had 2 wrecks at Rockingham last week, one in practice with Mike Wallace and one in the race with Hank Parker Jr. This is actually the booster right here. It's a little barrel, and what it does, it helps distribute the fuel that goes down in the carburetor. Now, all that holds this booster is this little stem right here. And what's been thought to have been happening, this stem has been breaking, and the booster's been falling down in the carburetor and hanging the throttle plate partially wide open or even wide open. So what NASCAR did, they had them drill a small hole here and run this piece of safety wire here around this tube, and what should happen if this stem breaks and the booster falls, it almost is like a tether on the hoods and the deck lid that NASCAR has mandated, and it's just another tip of the hat to NASCAR that they're not sitting still on these stuck wide open throttles.
Good explanation. Again, with questions about throttles hanging wide open, you don't need a broken booster falling into that opening and messing with the throttle plates. Just another way to assure the driver's safety from NASCAR. Welcome back, everybody. 63 laps in to the 250 at the Jamestown 250 here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. Michael Rich in the 55 about to go a lap down. Shouldn't feel bad. Some awfully fine teams going laps down quickly. He's 30th place, Rich is.
And Jay Sauter looking to the inside there. He and Green are really flying around the racetrack, but there's a third member. Elton Sawyer's moved in here to make it 1, 2, 3, nose to tail as they come off the corner there.
There you see the numbers again on Jeff Green. Only 5 times has he finished 10th or worse this season. That's unconscious is what it is. Glenn Jarrett, what about pit strategy, and what about the overall performance of Jeff Green's car right now?
Eli, right now the car is a little too tight to Jeff's liking. It's a little bit overcast today. It was bright, sunny, warm yesterday. Not quite as warm today, and the cars are running just a little bit tighter. Jeff's car pretty tight through the center of the corner. One of the reasons he's having a little trouble working traffic, he just can't get the nose to stick where he wants to put it. They're going to adjust the thing on their first pit stop. They're going to do an air pressure adjustment. They'll also take some bite or some wedge out of the car. Harold Holly also told me that right now, if it continues to go green, that they're planning to come in somewhere around lap 130. And you can pretty well believe that whatever the leader Jeff Green does, that's what the rest of the guys will do. So if it stays green, we got about 65, 70 more, roughly 65 more laps before they come in to make their pit stops. And that tells me, let's see, I had to do a little thinking there. I believe they can make it on one stop.
Basically can if it worked. You should have seen Glenn. The smoke was just rising off his fingers and toes as he was doing his ciphering down there.
Man, I'm telling you, sawdust was hot.
Look at some of those numbers. Casey Atwood there in the 27, currently quickest on the racetrack. But look at that first, second, and third place battle. Green, Sauter, and Elton Sawyer. He has pivoted into position now to be a major factor. Of course, remember, he was running third, you remember, last week here on TNN with 2 laps to go at Rockingham when he tangled with Jason Keller. Elton spun and finished 19th, but he's been on a pretty good roll here lately.
I think so, and the racetracks that he really runs well on are the slick type of racetracks where you need to get good forward bite. He's got great car control. His best finish this year was in Nazareth, a racetrack that you have to apply the accelerator and not break the tires loose coming out of the corner. So he's very good on these types of race cars.
But how about a great run for Jay Sauter right there running in second. He's going to have his hands full from Elton Sawyer here in a second. But Larry Mack, that car showed up here prepared to race.
Well, I'm here with his crew chief, Gene Need. And, Gene, you're running second right now with Jeff Green. You called him, but you got a mirror full of Elton Sawyer. What's Jay saying about the car?
Right now, we're just a little bit tight in the center off. We're going to work on that for this stop, see if we can make it a little bit better. But I think we're pretty good. We're not bad. And Jay's doing a good job. We're just riding along. We're coming.
Can you do this race on one pit stop? Will you try to do it on one pit stop?
Yeah, we should be able to do it on one pit stop.
That's the strategy in Jay Sauter's pits. Again, catching Jeff Green was one thing, passing him will be another.
Meanwhile, those front three going inside of Tony Raines right now in the number 33 machine.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, they're getting very, very close, just inches apart through the corner. See Raines' car on the outside here, the 33 car. Down in the corner, you can see a little smoke.
And we got it, Lyndon Amick spinning. Lyndon Amick spins and brings out the caution. Caution is out at lap number 73 here in Memphis, Tennessee, as Lyndon Amick will spin off the number 4 corner and down the main straightaway. You see the 33 staying on the lead lap. The 71, Jamie McMurray, will unlap himself there as he gets around the race leader. So those two drivers benefit from that caution. Michael Rich has gone to the garage area. There he is in the number 55 machine, the second retiree of the afternoon.
Eli, I think that smoke that we saw out of Jay Sauter's car as he went down in the corner, that was the rear wheels actually sliding. And he got in the corner a little bit hot there, and about the same time, the spotter on top of the roof up here said caution, and he probably put on the brakes and lit up the rear tires.
Watch what happens here. There goes Lyndon Amick. Does not look as though, at least from that angle head on, as though he had any help off the corner, though it's tough to say definitively.
Nice.
But pit stops, all the great strategy we're talking about going out the window. These stops will come at lap 75 as Jeff Green puts 75 on the board as he goes across the start-finish line. Let's go to the pits.
Well, Jay Sauter comes to the attention of Gene Need, and he gets to his pits first because he was pitting way back up pit road. It's definitely going to be, I believe, a 4-tire stop. Little bit of a wedge put in the left rear. They're going around to the left side. The left side goes up. Looks like a pretty quick stop if they don't have any trouble on the left side, but they are having trouble on the left rear. Glenn, how about our race leader, Jeff Green?
Well, Larry, he is in. They just made that wedge adjustment I was telling you about on the left rear of the car. Took a round of bite out. They made a slight air pressure adjustment to try to free the car up just a little bit. He is down and away, beats Elton Sawyer to the line, followed out by Casey Atwood and Tim Friedel.
So the running order will shuffle up just a little bit there. The man who will lose some in that exchange will be Sauter. We'll update it all when we come back. The home of the King and the lovely Scylla. That is Graceland. Longtime home of Elvis Presley here in Memphis, Tennessee. There's Jay Sauter. He pitted in second spot, came out in sixth. Then he's had to pit again. Let's get the story, Larry.
Well, Eli and Buddy, the problem is, and he told the crew right as he come into the pits the first time, that his brakes went all the way to the floor. And what they did notice after they changed the right side tires is the right rear brake caliper was leaking brake fluid. So they had to come back in, try to see if anything was loose as far as leaking the fluid, and they've sent him back out. The problem is, though, he went back out 28th, and that's going to be hard to make up with that many cars on the lead lap. But I tell you, a guy who's got a fast race car, Glenn Jarrett, how about Kevin Harvick that's a lap down?
You're exactly right, Larry, and this caution flag was the break that Kevin was looking for. They got to come in, change tires. Todd Berry, the crew chief, said they did not change anything. They love the car the way that it is. Send him back out. Now, we will see Kevin Harvick move to the front of the pack. He's on his way right now. He will be the first car that is one lap down. A prime opportunity for him to get that lap back. He has been consistently faster than the leader, Jeff Green. Also, number 98, Elton Sawyer, came out in second place out of the pits. Great pit stop. Made no changes on that car. 4 tires and fuel. He thinks he's got something for Green.
There you see some of the other fine pit stops that were done, including Jimmy Johnson coming in 12th and going out 8th.
Now, Harvick has to really be careful not to jump Green on the start like he did on the first time he got black flag.
Doesn't do it, but he does get it in second spot, so he's within shouting distance of getting back on the lead lap. We're speaking of Kevin Harvick in that blue number 2 machine.
Great front here, you see Tim Fedewa there in the 36.
He's in fourth.
There's Todd Bodine right on his quarter panel there as they come off the corner. These guys are racing for position. There's some lap cars on the outside there.
There goes Harvick getting back on the tail end of the lead lap. So Kevin Harvick on the tail end of the lead lap, and Elton Sawyer now is going to challenge the man we're riding with, Jeff Green, for the race lead. Elton Sawyer finished third here last year with a standard snout car, but was beaten by a couple of guys with drop snout cars. So Elton has brought a drop snout for today's event, which means
that the roll center, it lets the car go over and use a little more on the right front there. It helps it turn on the flatter tracks.
So that's the storyline up front. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick, Glenn, just got gone once he got around Jeff Green.
Well, he is pulling away, Eli, but Jeff Green very, very smartly saw his mirror full of Kevin Harvick. Didn't want to take a chance that Kevin would get impatient. Jeff just pulled over and let him go on the outside. I think that was a real smart thing to do because Kevin was really putting the pressure on him. The guys in the crew down here were holding their breath, hoping that there was no contact. Jeff wisely just moved over and waved him on by.
David Green, meanwhile, is not under power in turn number 2. There he is, the brother of the point champion, Jeff Green. David Green, himself a former NASCAR Busch Series champion, not under power. He's coasting around to the pits. Today, of course, marks a first in NASCAR history. I was talking with the great NASCAR historian Bob Latford, who retired after last week's race at Rockingham. He said, remember, Eli, he said, next week will be the first time in Busch Series history that we will have seen brothers win the NASCAR Busch Series title. First that man, David Green, and today Jeff Green. And then should nothing happen in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, we'll see it happen again this year. Should Bobby Labonte win the title, joining brother Terry Labonte as the only brothers to win championships in the NASCAR Winston Cup division.
Yeah, it's usually father and son that you notice who win championships with brothers. I mean, that's pretty special.
You think of the Flocks, they didn't do it. The Waltrips have not done it. The Allisons have not done it. This will be a first today and potentially a first again in a few weeks in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. There's Jay Sauter after that unscheduled stop. He's a couple of laps down now in 26th position. Larry Mack, how bad was that brake situation?
Well, you have a braided line on the right rear, and what had happened, it had gotten torn. You don't have much time to fix the problem here. So what the crew did, they took a pair of vice grips and crimped the brake line. Now, the problem is he only has 3 wheels brakes. As much brakes as you use here at Memphis on this 3/4 mile, it can be a real ill-handling race car.
So that's the update there. Meanwhile, David Green is back on the racetrack. He is running 4 laps down now in 40th position. And there you see Jay Sauter, of whom we were just speaking, a couple of laps down in 27.
And the 99, that's Ted Christopher. You normally see him driving the number 13 from the Busch North Series.
And the modifieds.
And the modifieds. But boy, is he ever a good driver. He's a standout in the Northeast.
Folks from Les Care Kitchens, longtime sponsors of Northeastern racers, on board with Ted Christopher here today as you see Jay Sauter trying to work himself back towards the front. And again, David Green has some ongoing problems again. Now the question's going to be, well, it looks like he is under power this time. Last time he was just coasting totally. And this time he does seem to be under power and should make it around the 3/4 of a mile to get back to the pit lane.
Boy, it's going to be questionable. He's very slow coming off turn 2 over there.
Just joining us, only one caution flag today at lap 73 when Lyndon Amick spun. Jeff Green continues as the race leader. He has led every lap so far, all 96 of them. That is Jeff Green showing the way. He has an advantage right now of 1 2/10 seconds on the second place runner, Elton Sawyer, who has been hanging around the top 5 all afternoon long. Taking a look back as Sawyer goes through, there's third place Tim Feeder with a 36. The fourth place is Todd Bodine in the 66. They are 3.3 and 3.4 seconds behind the race leader, respectively, in their ongoing battle for position. And that's a good one right now. That's the third place battle, swapping hands there. So Fido, that's the car that Todd Bodine is driving, the one he drove to a fourth place at Richmond earlier this year. Fido takes over the third spot. Tim Fidua is back to fourth. Running in the fifth place is Casey Atwood. Right behind them, there comes Casey into the picture. He is going to be shown, as the clock shows him now, just some 4 seconds exactly behind the race leader. Then Bobby Hamilton Jr. will be next in line. He's running in the sixth place in the rundown here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. In the garage area, David Green, the most recent retiree. While one brother celebrates the title, the other one's day is done early. Let's hear what happened.
Well, I'm here. Yeah, what was good for one Green today, kind of a bad day for the other. David, what put you out?
Looked like the oil pump belt, Larry, got off track right there, and it ripped it in half, or a piece of rubber or something got underneath of it. But, you know, it's tough starting that far back, but car was pretty good, and just can't do good when you can't finish these things. We've had a lot of bad luck, but happy for Brother Jeff, you know, wrapping that deal up, and hopefully Mark have a good run today.
Well, that's the story from the 1994 Busch Car National champion, David Green, brother of the 2000 champion, Jeff Green.
So that's the story in the garage area, joining Michael Rich as a retiree. And again, there's third and fourth spot on the screen, Todd Bodine and Tim Fidua. Fidua is going to be driving that 66 car next year when Todd moves up to the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Of course, Fidua has been a staple of the Busch Series since making his debut in 1992. Glenn Jarrett, that's been a pretty spirited battle.
It's been a great battle. You can bet your bottom dollar that Tim Fidua is not going to bump that 66 car either.
No.
Considering he's driving it next year. May be the car that he wants to get in. As you said, that's Fido that Todd Bodine is driving. A couple months back when we were in St. Louis, Todd led for a big portion of that race. Wound up finishing second to Kevin Harvick, but the same car that he ran there. Fido's a little bit tight today, particularly down in 1 and 2. Donnie Richardson told me they made a track bar adjustment, try to free it up. They're going to do some more next time in. He's still fighting that tight condition, but that's still an awfully good race car. Donnie also told me that's the oldest race car they got. They just can't get rid of it. It won't go away. They keep going back to it because it runs better than anything else they got.
Well, you know, the old dog just keeps coming home to roost.
Yeah, it's like Rusty Wallace's car, that old Midnight. Every once in a while, if they hadn't won a race in a while, they'd go back and get it out of the warehouse, put it some suspension under it, go out and win a race.
I remember Todd Bodine, if you were with us last year, he was the man to beat here last year until a pit road incident took him out of contention and opened the door for Jeff Green. Let's continue back a little bit. We showed you the green Casey Atwood machine. The 26 Bobby Hamilton Jr., he is 5 3/10 seconds behind. He's running in the 6th spot. Then you wait for the traffic to sort out. Jimmy Johnson and Buckshot Jones come together. They're battling for 7th and 8th. They are 7.6 seconds behind the race leader. Obviously, both still on the lead lap. Jeff Purvis is right behind them. The number 4 machine here on lap number 106. Purvis running in 9th place. Very solidly working his way towards the front. With Purvis.
You can see the cars coming out of turn 2 there, really sliding the back of the car out of the corner there. Down into turn 3, right on the bottom, then up a little bit, pick up the throttle and accelerate down. It's almost a D-shaped racetrack here.
Further back behind Jeff Purvis as we continue our look back, there's the 57 of Jason Keller. 8 8/10 seconds behind our race leader. He is running in the 10th spot. The 17 machine of Schuler. Further back, Phil Parsons in the 59. They are running for position and are now 9.6 and 10 seconds respectively behind the race leader Jeff Green, who's led every lap thus far. There you see Ron Hornaday. He's in 13th. 13.3 behind the leader. And Mike McLaughlin, he's back in 30th position now. He's only completed 108 of the 110 laps. The 53, Hank Parker Jr., Dick Trickle in the 5, the Schneider machine. They announced their sponsorship goes away after this year. And the 20 up from the ASA series.
That's Scott Wimmer.
Scott Wimmer. He's another of the new finds for Bill Davis Racing. The 37, that's Kevin Grubb. He's running in 17 spots, still on the lead lap. While the 35 of Lyndon Amick is in 31st spot. He is 2 laps down. 21 is Mike Dillon. He was tough early, but he's now in 32nd, 2 laps down. There you see the 39. You folks in Nashville know Andy Kirby from his exploits at Nashville Speedway, USA. And Kyle Petty in the Sprint Chevrolet in the number 45. Kyle is on the lead lap, running in the 18th spot. Others out there doing well in the middle stages of the afternoon. That's Jason Leffler. He's running in 19th. He is 18.5 seconds back, and we have problems on the main straightaway. The 81, Blaze Alexander, spins. The leader has the caution, as caution flies at lap 113 for problems for Blaze Alexander out of Montoursville, Pennsylvania. He brings out the second caution flag of the afternoon. So under caution here at the Memphis Motorsports Park, Jeff Green. He has led every single lap thus far and has already clinched the Busch Series Championship. Back, everybody, the Samstown 250, the Memphis Motorsports Park in Millington, Tennessee, just outside of the immediate Memphis metro area. The field getting the 1 to go signal when they come back, as you saw the hood up this time on the 43 of Jay Sauter. The reason we are under caution for this incident at lap number 113, coming off turn number 4.
Blaze Alexander in the 81 there goes round and round. Whether he had any help or not, I don't know, but usually coming up out of the corner like that, you have to get touched a little bit to turn around, because that's a long straightaway down here.
Meanwhile, there you see Kevin Harvick, who's been gamely trying to get back into the hunt here today, Glenn.
Caution really helped him a lot, Eli, because he had gotten that lap back. As we said, Jeff Green had motioned him on by. That caution comes out, allows him to come to the rear of the field. He was one of only 5 cars on the lead lap that came in. He came in with Randy LaJoy, Tony Raines, the 61 and the 81 cars. Blaze Alexander was able to stay on the lead lap, too. 4 fresh tires, no changes on Harvick's car. He loves the way it's driving. Now he's got the field to pass, but he gained spots on 4 of them just by the pit stop. He got out first. I'll tell you what, he made a mistake early in the race, but since then, the cautions have played into his favor. He's back in this thing.
34 cars still on the lead lap, the way things have cycled around with drivers getting their laps back and so on, as you ride with Elton Sawyer getting set to get the restart. Jeff Green brings us to the green flag.
Green flag. You're all clear. You're all clear. He right with you. Still clear. Still clear. Good start.
Third car in that picture, not battling for position. That's Mike McLaughlin in 29th spot.
Nice job, buddy. Just hit your mark. Hit your mark. That's the lap car coming in behind Elton.
Jason Keller's off the pace. It looks like he may have a flat tire or something in the 57. He's sliding back through the crowd there, right near the end of the pack there. I don't know whether he didn't clean his tires properly or what, but he really was up high just a second ago. Now it looks like he's getting back up to speed.
And look, only now he is, as Buddy was talking, you see him picking up now significantly. But yeah, not the good start for Jason Keller, with the 17 of Jason Schuler right behind him. Working out of turn number 4 now and back onto the main straightaway. Lap 120 of 250 here in Memphis. Look at the 2 that navy blue number 2, middle of the screen there. That's Harvick.
That's him right there, and he is flying up through the traffic right at the moment. And you can remember back in Bristol what a dominating night he had there, leading almost the whole entire race.
You watch him progress from the onboard camera of Randy LaJoy. You saw them work around Ted Musgrave in the 82. That's that powder blue and red channel lock car. The 18, Jason Leffler.
Clear.
But the AC Delco colors now closing in on Kevin Grubb in the 37.
Boy, that's a wonderful thing. Those new tires you can see there when he got up to Grubb's car, he just turns hard left and just drives right up under him.
Meanwhile, Larry Mack, Jason Keller's back in 22nd. What happened to the restart? Have you found out?
Well, actually, it started before the restart, Eli. His car has been very, very, very loose. They debated about going ahead and pitting, but they were scared to pit with only that many laps on their tires and with over half the race to go and only having one more set of tires. But again, he's very loose and it's probably only going to get worse. So these guys need another caution, 4 fresh tires, and a few adjustments to tighten that race car up.
All of this now happening in lap 123, just a couple of laps shy of halfway.
82 there on the right-hand side. That's Musgrave. He's doing a weekend job here in the 82 car. Ted Musgrave.
If you're a fan of Brandon Butler, he has just parked his car. Electrical problems in his race car sends Brandon Butler to the garage, and he is done for the afternoon. Close. Again, they are battling for position on the lead lap. Musgrave in the 82, Keller in the 57. They're battling for 21st and 22nd spots.
And Schuler there in the 17. Matt Kenseth usually drives that car, but doing a great job today. You see Hank Parker Jr. looking for high side or low side in the 53, trying to get by there.
Blaze Alexander to the outside of that pack. Up front, by the way, Mike McLaughlin has just unlapped himself. You see him there. That blue and white machine just gets around Jeff Green. So Mike McLaughlin in 29th is now on the tail end of the lead lap. Meanwhile, let's go back to the scramble for 21st on back. Keller this time off the low side of the racetrack. Grabs it from Ted Musgrave.
Just behind them, Jay Sauter's figured out his brake deal right now. He's gotten used to the car. It's back running a lot better than he was when he first started having the brake problem in the 43 car. Oh boy. You can almost see it coming. No, you see Hank Parker Jr. 53 there. He realized that he was getting past on the inside. Jay Sauter, though, he's really going up through this crowd pretty well now. Eli, you don't know what that's like to mash down on the brake pedal going down in the corner like Jay Sauter did. And it go all the way to the floor. I'm telling you, it's like somebody screaming at you out of a closet somewhere. You just don't, for a moment, you just kind of freeze, and then you realize, I got to pump the brake, and that's what he did when the right rear started smoking. He had pumped the brakes back up enough to get in that corner.
The Memphis Motorsports Park. This used to be a high-banked dirt oval before the 3/4 mile track was built on top of it. We've seen some great racing here over the years. Wrenchhead.com with millions of brand name auto parts and accessories to choose from. It's easy to prove you're a wrench head. Are you a wrench head? Wrenchhead.com. Parts online all the time. There's the battle for the lead. There is the scramble from 11th on back. Kevin Harvick is there. Phil Parsons is there. Harvick continues as one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. at 114.8 miles an hour. He and the race leader, Jeff Green, the only two guys that are doing 114.8.
Yeah, and Kevin Harvick's on pressure rubber right now. Once he gets by some of the slower traffic that he's working his way by right at the moment, I believe his car is every bit as fast as Green and certainly on better tires. So who knows what the end of this race is going to turn out to be.
There you see the move inside of Andy Kirby. Kirby not on the lead lap. He's in 31st spot. And there's Ron Hornaday. You saw him very briefly while those two fellows do battle. The 71 of Jamie McMurray, the 13 of Brad Baker.
That's Ron Hornaday there in the 3 car. See Mr. Dracula there on the front of the car.
Yep, the normal blue and gold paint job has been transformed into that dark, spooky graveyard haunted by Count Dracula. Speaking of spooky, Larry Mack. Now Larry's going to hang me out. Larry, go ahead.
You guys are hard on me. I talked to Jerry Cannon, Ron Hornaday's crew chief, and as I spoke in the opening of the show, Goodyear brought a tire here that was kind of hard to get going for qualifying. And the 3-car and Ron Hornaday definitely suffered from those symptoms starting 30th. But I talked to Jerry, and he said their car is really good on long runs. A little tight in the center. They'd like one more pit stop, which they'll get at some point to kind of free that car up. And it took him half the race, but he's moved in the top 10. Of course, he just got passed by probably the fastest race car on the racetrack, Kevin Harvick. But for the race fan that's been watching and keeping up with Busch Grand National races for a long time, Jerry Cannon, his crew chief, you dig back in the archives, he was turning the wrenches when Sam Ard was winning a bunch of Busch Grand National races. And Jerry Cannon, a lot like Ron Hornaday, he's out there job hunting too. And guys, I can't believe he'll go long without finding one.
That's true. You know that old 00, remember that? The Thomas Brothers Country Hams machine.
Boy, when that white car with those big red 00s on it rolled in, he was there for business.
Nothing wrong with today's Busch Series competition, but those days with Sam, the great Ironman, Jack Ingram, L.D. Ottinger, Tommy Houston, man, there was some good racing in those days, too.
Yes, they wouldn't have this racing right now if it hadn't been for those type of guys.
Exactly right. Jeff Purvis, he's in 13th. Andy Kirby in the 39 right behind him, though they're not battling for position, as we mentioned. Kirby now in 30th place, being shown a couple of laps down. Oh, and he about lost it.
Man,
what a view we had out of Purvis.
He lost it. The car run back under him.
Scary moment right there. How often, buddy, we always talk about the guy saves it. How often in the experience of you've driven, you've seen racing forever, how often is it really the driver who saves it, and how often does he just happen, like you say, the car drives back underneath him and he gets lucky?
You get lucky a lot of times, even the great drivers. One that I remember having great car control was Tim Richmond. He could get a car more out of shape and catch it back, and he did it time after time. That wasn't luck. Dale Earnhardt does that. But some people, I watch them when they get in trouble, they're in trouble. Now, Andy Kirby was in big trouble there. He caught that car back, but it run under him. He was pretty well spun out if he hadn't had the car just do the right thing, because I didn't see the wheels move that much.
If you're just joining us, it's been all Jeff Green today. He has led every lap. He has clinched the NASCAR Busch Series championship. It has been a wonderful drive for him, but for others, not quite as easy. Back in a moment. Samstown 250 might well be renamed the Jeff Green 250 here today, because he's done it all. And for that name change to take place, this gentleman would have to okay it. Dan Stark is the Vice President of Marketing for Boyd Gaming, the folks who, of course, have Samstown casinos all across the country. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised that Jeff Green's doing so well. If you go back in history, he's basically won all the races you guys have been involved with over the years.
We have a long relationship with Jeff, and he told me before the race he's going to see if he can keep the streak alive, and we're pretty excited about having him wrap up the title here at Samstown 250 here in Memphis.
This is an area here in Memphis, Tennessee, that a lot of the folks know of because of the blues and Elvis and all of that good stuff. But at the same time, we're a stone's throw away from the great fun in the casinos and what have you in Mississippi and this whole area. This has really been a boom town when you folks came on board.
In a lot of ways, Eli. We're pretty excited to be continuing sponsoring NASCAR races here in Las Vegas, and the SEMA show coming up, and Las Vegas 300 and Samstown 300 and Las Vegas Motor Speedway in March. We continue to sponsor 2 NASCAR Busch Series races every year, and really appreciate the job that you and TNN have done for us every year.
It's been our pleasure, and I look forward to being at the SEMA show in a couple of days. As a matter of fact, the world's largest automotive aftermarket show, for those of you at home who might not be familiar. What is the future now for Boyd Gaming? What plans might you be able to talk about for future NASCAR involvement?
Well, we're going to continue to sponsor these 2 races, and you just never know what the future may hold, but we do a lot with our co-promotional sponsors, Anheuser-Busch, Coca-Cola, and Chevrolet, and we'll continue to be out there working NASCAR.
Well, Dan, great to see you. Thanks so much for being here, and most importantly for the NASCAR fans, thanks for the involvement of Boyd Gaming, Samstown, for all you've done, because obviously this is sponsor-driven. We very much appreciate your involvement. And by the way, Buddy says he wants all of his money back. Apparently, he's helping keep those lights burning in one of your casinos.
Man, I tell you, it's really a nice place and fun to visit. And when you talk about visit, this guy right here may even spoil your plans. Kevin Harvick in the 2 car is flying up through there, all the way up to 5th now.
Really is. Dan, great to see you.
Great. Thanks, Eli, buddy. And by the way, Wayne Newton sends his regards to you both.
And tell him we said Dankeschön.
Yeah.
Well, I guess would be the appropriate response. Dan Stark, Director of Marketing for Boyd Gaming. Now here to sing Dankeschön is Glenn Jarrett.
Does that mean, is it time for me to talk?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, buddy, Kevin Harvick's moving so fast that he gained another position. He's up to 4th right now. Remember on that last pit stop when I told you there were only a handful of cars that pitted, Kevin Harvick being one of those? He has consistently been a 1/4 of a second a lap faster than the leader, Jeff Green. In moving up to 4th, he is now less than 4 seconds behind the leader. He is coming and coming fast. But there's another car that's not too far behind, too, that changed tires, and that's Randy LaJoie. Randy in the number 1 car came in along with Kevin, got 4 fresh tires. He has mowed them down, moved up through the field, all the way up to 8th position. Those new tires are really making a difference, Larry McReynolds.
To the crew chief for Jimmy Johnson. He's running in 9th, started 9th. He had moved up as high as about 7th, and the car was just a little bit tight. But for those of you maybe noticed, the sun has really popped back out here. Now his race car is actually too loose, and Jimmy really come to claim here a year ago, leading this race and showing people what he had. And obviously Rick Hendrick, he caught his eye as well, as he'll be moving to that operation in the future.
Jimmy Johnson doing a great job, and he has been a consistent front runner. Of course, he scared us all to death in Watkins Glen when he went into that barrier up there, running about 150 miles an hour into that crash barrier. Thank goodness it was what we call a softball. Yeah. I mean, the racing world stopped for a second. But Kevin Harvick is flying up through here now, already in 3rd spot. Last time Glenn Jarrett was talking, he had moved into 4th. He's in 3rd right now and closing in on the leader.
Larry McReynolds, as a crew chief, ever a concern here that the driver might be punishing the car because he is significantly faster than anybody else out there? Do you ever have to tell your drivers in general to keep your cool and to woe it down a little bit?
Well, Eli and Buddy, yeah, you know, but what we got to remember, these guys has got about 40 less laps on their tires, but there's no doubt at a short track, you can definitely overdrive your race car, and especially if you use that right front of that right rear tire. And what you got to do is watch the stopwatch. And if I'm Todd Berry or Kevin Harvick's crew chief, what I'm telling him, don't panic. The 10 and the 98 are going to be on pit road here in about 10 or 15 laps. Then maybe we'll get a caution and we'll have those guys right where we want them.
So it's getting good. Some interesting stories developing as Jeff Green has led every lap. Elton Sawyer just 0.4 of a second back, and then Harvick 3 seconds further back. On the racetrack, not for the lead, but it is for Mike McLaughlin in the 48 to try and stay on the tail end of the lead lap. That's pivotal for him to try and get back into the picture here today in Memphis.
It is, and Green knows just behind him is a storm brewing. Just behind him is Sawyer running in the 98 car, but Kevin Harvick right there is closing in quickly now, less than a second back.
Moments ago, meanwhile, on the racetrack, some pretty good battling going on. tape running for you. Watch this.
Hermie Sadler in the 30 car right there. Watch him as he comes off the corner. He back in, jumps out, but boy, he did a nice job of getting it back under him there. Hank Parker Jr., of course, takes the lead there from him because once you break those tires loose, you don't have any forward grip going down the straightaway. He lost a lot of momentum there.
There you see NASCAR timing and scoring as Harvick goes around Elton Sawyer and grabs second spot from him. Napa reminds you, why do you need genuine Napa replacement parts? Simple, because some things just can't be replaced. Napa.
You can see Elton Sawyer just pull over and let Kevin Harvick go. He knows he's on fresher tires right now, and much, much quicker as he closes in on green. He closed in about 8 or 9 car lengths in one lap on green as well as he's running around here.
Now the leaders pitted at lap number 75. Harvick came in at lap 114 as he battles with Tim Sauter now with the number 61.
He's on newer stuff than we are.
You hear the spotter telling Jeff Green he's on newer stuff, newer, fresher tires than we are.
Jeff Green's going to make him work and hope he abuses the tires a little bit, trying to get by him, trying to get neutral with him at least where the two cars can manage to race each other. Right now with fresher tires, you can see quicker right there, center part of the corner, and looking to the inside of green.
This is for the lead at lap 179. He did not get him this time, the computer says, but he will at lap number 180. So Jeff Green leads 1 through 179. Kevin Harvick takes over at lap 180. Glenn Jarrett, long trip getting there, but it's going to pay off, it seems.
What a big smile and a big sigh of relief on Todd Berry of the crew chief's face. Man, what a race car you got under that kid.
I tell you what, Glenn, this ACDL Monte Carlo's been great all day. It was good in last practice. When the green flag falls, I think you're supposed to gas the nation. I'm not sure how that works. But I tell you what, we had to kind of pull a move here, so we only got one set of tires left, but we're already in our window where we needed to be, so we just hope she stays together and everything will be good.
One more question. Is there any chance he might be pushing it too hard, Todd?
He's coasting. I mean, he's riding easy. He'll pick up 3/10 any given lap, and I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's being a little too easy for him. The easier he goes, the faster he goes. You know how that goes.
Well, I never had that problem myself. I'll tell you what, that's tough deep for the rest of the field, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Glenn Jarrett, I talked to Rick Byers. This is the reason I'm going to TV next year. My nerves won't take it no more because they're kind of in a catch-22 situation. They're saying that they can go to lap 200, and that would be about 125 laps on their fuel and tires, and that's kind of stretching both. But the catch-22 is they can't let Jeff Green pit and get too many laps on their fresh tires versus theirs, but they're also banking that Kevin Harvick's probably going to run to lap 225 or better and hoping a caution will come out. So I got to believe it's going to be a little bit of monkey see, monkey do. I don't think they'll come to pit road until at least one of those leaders come to pit road.
Meanwhile, Elton Sawyer right there has dropped to 1.4 seconds behind the race leader. And you know, buddy, everybody's talking all about the battle for the championship, which has gone out the window, but there are some major battles still underway here today, not only on the racetrack there where Hank Parker Jr. is battling with Ron Hornaday, but on the seasonal numbers, there are some major battles still up for grabs with a few races to go.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick right now is in 4th, and Todd Bodine just in front of him in point. It could change today. Also back there, David Green and Casey Atwood, they're separated by 1 point.
And of course, David Green has already gone an oil pump problem on the engine. That was great news for Casey Atwood, who is running in 5th right now and stands to benefit. Dick Trickle right there, Hank Parker Jr. in the 53. And now remember, there's the race leader, Harvick, in the 2, trying to put McLaughlin a lap down now.
Shouldn't be any trouble. He's just, like you say, on fresher rubber right now. But there is lap traffic out there, and you have to be really...
Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle. And now there goes all those questions of strategy.
Clear all around. Clear all around.
At lap 186. All the spotters feverishly talking to their drivers as the Schneider trucking entry goes around. And we were talking earlier about how the folks from Schneider have announced that they won't be back with that team next year. Tough race. Hank Parker Jr. And Dick Trickle. And caution number 3 at lap 186.
Eli, I've heard people say that Dick Trickle has won over 2,000 races in his entire racing career. They used to go up north, and that 99 would come off the truck, and that man was serious. He would win nearly every race you run against.
With him right there, buddy.
The old Artco series, that Super America machine would show up, and you just might as well mail him the win.
Yeah, he was extra good.
Great racing up there with Bob Seneca and Dorr and all of that great crew. The late Larry Deachin, some spectacular racing that Dick Trickle was involved in his formative years. Of course, a lot of folks will say that Dick's formative years included a race in a chariot against Ben-Hur. he has been around a while, I'll grant you that. Larry McReynolds on pit road.
Well, Elton Sawyer brings his car to the attention of Rick Byers and the crew. He's sitting in pit 6 where the race leaders was in 1 and 2. Car a little bit tight, going to drop some air pressure out of the right front and the left rear. 4 tires and full of fuel, try to make the run to the end. Glenn, how about our race leaders?
Kevin Harvick is in, Larry, and there will be 4 tires here. No changes once again. They have not changed air pressure or turned a single screw on this car all day long. It has been that good. Kevin Harvick down in the way, and now Jeff Green is still in a little bit of trouble on the left side. I believe Randy LaJoie got out second. Jeff Green's car has been a little tight, and they have made an adjustment again on the wedge and the air pressure on Jeff's car to try to free it up just a little to see if he's got anything for Kevin Harvick.
So pit stops complete at lap 188. Those cars who are a lap down will now pit at lap 189.
Hey, Randy LaJoie.
Hi, I'm Dracula, Ron Hornaday. We both want to wish you happy Halloween from Memphis Motorsports.
Scary looking. LaJoie had one of those squirt bottles of the string stuff.
There's old Frankenstein. Look at there.
Some of the paint schemes we're seeing with Halloween just a few days away. You going trick-or-treating up on the lake, buddy?
Casey Atwood, he might be trick-or-treating here. His cars run very, very well today. As a matter of fact, all the cars that are decorated up, Randy LaJoie, of course, in the #1 car, is a Wolfman.
Oh, look at this here. They're practicing for the Survivor Series.
How much did it cost to get in here? It couldn't have been worth it.
No, I think he didn't get in. I think he, well, no.
Uh-oh.
Security caught him. Folks all over the place clamoring to see the NASCAR Busch Series.
I believe I'd have left him in the tree.
Here's Glenn.
Yeah, talking to Todd Berry right now. You want to know how the one Randy LaJoie got up there so quick, guys. One other guy we need to talk about, mention real quick, and that is, you were talking about Casey Atwood, guys. Up in 5th position right now. It is hard to believe that Casey Atwood has not had a top 5 finish this year. His best finish so far this year has been 6th. And as I said, Todd Berry and I were talking about the great pit stop that Randy LaJoie had, put him up at 2nd.
Indeed it was. 2nd place for Randy LaJoie, and now we'll see exactly what he is able to do.
Talking about Casey Atwood, though, he did win 2 times on this particular division, and next year he goes to Ray Abraham as the judge.
He's had a number of top 10s. He did have that 6th at Pikes Peak that Glenn was talking about as Kevin Harvick pulls away. He also finished 7th at Texas, 8th in Richmond, 7th at New Hampshire. He had a 7th in Nazareth, 9th place in Bristol. It was 8th here on TNN last weekend in Rockingham.
Wow, you talk about close.
That's a great shot.
There, the Tim Sauter.
And now all of a sudden bright sunshine again, as you can clearly see after overcast of earlier.
Yeah, and that's a nightmare for the guys that have been adjusting on their cars when they make their pit stops, because it changes the racing surface. As the sun gets on it, of course, it changes the way the car sticks in the corner, makes it a little tougher.
He's in 9th. Keller just ahead of him in 24th, a lap down.
Now, when just started out today. I didn't think we had that big a crowd, but they got a huge crowd here today for the Busch Grand National race.
It's
all
filled
the
in nicely.
grandstands are absolutely full.
It's filled in nicely. The differential now from the leader Harvick back to Randy LaJoie, it's all of a sudden 0.8 of a second, Larry Mack.
Crew chief, and they said his car has been tight all day. And the question was, with the gains he made on that pit stop, did he change 4 tires? He definitely changed 4 tires. The problem, guys, I just don't know if anybody has anything for that Harvick kid. For one thing, remember, Kevin Harvick and Randy LaJoie has used their 3rd and final set of tires. Jeff Green has a set left, but I'm not sure that anybody's going to use this left to race.
Of course, we never know. One of the things that I'm sure has really messed up everybody's figuring here is that when the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series runs here, we have seen 8 cautions in 1998, 12 cautions in 1999. There were 8 cautions for the Truck Series earlier this year. And when the Busch Series ran here last year for their only visit, there were 10 cautions. For whatever reason today, as you see Kirby going high on the back straightaway, for whatever reason today, there have only been 3 cautions. They have been very brief ones for single car spins involving Lyndon Amick, Blaze Alexander, and Dick Trickle. So we've not had the caution laps, but now we do. No sooner do we talk about it than Todd Bodine goes up into the wall running in the 9th spot. But we're way down on cautions overall as opposed to what we've seen here in the past.
Boy, Todd Bodine 3rd in the points. This is a big hit for him in the points system. You see the front of the car bashed all the way back. I wouldn't be surprised the radiator probably has a hole in it.
Todd Bodine brings out what will be, no doubt, another quick caution. 1 car, he's driven away. We'll be back racing again in just a moment. Any of our crew members can you spot on Beale Street? One of the great locations in downtown Memphis, the home of the Blues, B.B. King's Club down there. A great spot to party a bit when you come to Memphis, Tennessee. You've all heard of Beale Street.
Way up on the door, way up on the window. Hey, guys, Todd Bodine is back in now. They cut the hood off on the last time. They're pulling the fenders away from the car. But there's one thing that I'm seeing here. You may not be able to see now because the crewman working on the car there. But there is a tire mark right up at the window net where Todd's name is on the car. Somebody got way up there. The car is dented in on top of all the front end damage. I can imagine if you can see that tire mark in the dent right there above the first 6 on the number 66. Hard to imagine a race car got up that high. Todd still is on the lead lap. I believe he's okay now. Race tires, he's gone.
Aerodynamics, how much does it play at a racetrack like this, buddy, of 3/4 of a mile?
Well, you're looking for downforce, and of course this changes everything. The good part is there's no steam coming out of the car, so the radiator was not broken, but you can see he's coming back in to make some more adjustments on this car because you don't want the metal that's left on that car rubbing on the tires and stuff, maybe causing a problem later on.
So Todd's coming back in again, running in 21st position, and there you see the points as they run right now. The championship was clinched by merely starting the race today for Jeff Green. And the field is getting the 1 to go signal now as we ride along with Elton Sawyer here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. Elton in the car that he ran at Richmond and Nazareth, Gateway International in St. Louis. A lot of similarities, those racetracks, to this one here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. We did see an extra pit stop seconds ago for Ron Hornaday, Larry. He came in at lap 201 after all the leaders had pitted on 188. What was that about?
Well, probably not a bad move on those guys' parts. You know, he'd worked his way in the top 10, but the last set of tires just was way too tight, would not turn at all. They felt like they wouldn't give up a lot. They lost 4 positions by pit and put 4 tires on. Major wholesale changes. Pulled a rubber out of the left rear spring, softened that left rear spring, helped that thing turn, took some wedge out, made some air pressure adjustments. That is his 3rd and final set of tires, but only give up 4 positions by making those changes.
He's running in 22nd now, and should he manage to win, it would be the 3rd victory of his rookie season. He's already won in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and Indianapolis Raceway Park, and that would be a record number of wins for a rookie in the Busch Series.
And if he don't get it today, watch out in Phoenix, because he's won so many races there in the Southwest Tour. Every division he's ever run in, he's won at Phoenix, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him be a big factor next weekend in Phoenix. So we'll have it right here on TNN.
Indeed so. Set to go back to green.
Green flag, green flag.
Riding with Elton Sawyer. Watch these cars, it's not unlike Richmond in that you don't turn just once in the turns. You seem to turn, then you turn again in the corners.
Well, you try to get a nice radius into the corner, and then, of course, to come off, you have to really feather the car up out of the corner. So, yes, you do. Several adjustments to the steering as you go through the corner to make the car go through it. Oh,
trouble. Lyndon Amick in the 35, the orange 71, after a stay in the garage earlier, Jamie McMurray. So after basically incident-free racing here, all of a sudden the caution's now starting to come in clusters. Caution at lap 207. That's the second incident that Lyndon Amick has been involved in. And let's see exactly how it unfolds. Well, I wonder if Hermie might have been involved there, too.
Yeah, and you can see right there, Lyndon Amick in the 35, he's just there and nowhere to go. He crosses his car up, spins around, and believe it or not, I think he got through there without any major damage.
So we are under caution again here in Memphis, Tennessee. Are you happy? We know Jeff Green is. He's a champion. To go signal as they come past the start-finish line this time. So in 3/4 of a mile, we'll be set to go back to racing. There you see Todd Bodine bringing the Trop Arctic I Love New York machine back in yet again. I guess, Glenn, this will be about his 4th or 5th pit stop here in succession.
Yes, it is, Eli, and they're still doing a lot of work. A lot of body damage done to the nose of the car. They're still dragging with the hood off the car. It's causing the car to be very, very tight. Todd can't turn it as well, so they're taking a good bit of bite out of it. Made a track bar adjustment last time in. The work continues. The nose is just battered on this car. They're going to have to jack the left side up this time, put a jack stand under it so the guys can get up under there, work, and try to snip that metal away. You can see them with the big metal shears. All kinds of stuff. Softball bats, baseball bats. You think, whoa. Big screwdriver caught in that thing. He about took off with it, but he got it down. He's away. It'll be a rough ride for the rest of the day for Todd. I'll tell you, Bad Break, he had a good run going, and all the people from Phillips were here. They're from Oklahoma City. They were here watching today, so kind of a tough day for him.
But he is still on the lead lap in 20th spot here at lap 211 of 250. Green flag. See if LaJoy has something in the number 1 car for the 2 of Harvick.
All clear, buddy. All clear.
Hey, LaJoy, look to the inside there. You can see Green now looking also. I believe Jeff Green has one of the fastest cars in the field. He proved it all day long. He leading quite a bit of the race. Kevin Harvick, once they go about 5, 6, 7 laps here, he has a very quick race car, but Randy LaJoy, now that guy has come from the back of the field right up to second place here, and he's really not losing any ground right now to Harvick.
Problems on the main straightaway yet again. So again, after virtually no cautions, they are coming in bunches here. The 81, Blaze Alexander. The 17, Jason Schuler.
Schuler's car torn up pretty badly. He'll have to come in and do a lot of things. Blaze Alexander in the 81 now gets back underway.
39, Andy Kirby, also involved here at lap number 215 as those 3 cars spin on the front straightaway. We'll see what we can tell from our speed shot camera mounted on the wall here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. Look at all the evasive driving. Look at that.
Well, that's Andy Kirby there going around in the 39. That's him right there, Blaze Alexander.
Look at
the 25 of Santerre.
He did a great job getting those brakes on and just tiptoeing around as Kirby is now in for service here at lap number 215. The leader is still Kevin Harvick. Took over the top spot from Jeff Green at lap number 180 and has had to dance through these minefields to hang on to the lead in Memphis. To go signal, Kevin Harvick will lead them back to the stripe, and in just 3/4 of a mile we'll be racing again at around lap 219 of 250. By the way, if you missed it, it was shortly after we came on the air at 1 o'clock Eastern time. This Sam's Town 250 went green. Remember, Jeff Green was the pole sitter, but NASCAR had to quickly make a decision because the pole sitter sets the pace to begin the race. The yellow car, however, doesn't. Watch the blue number 2. Harvick jumps the start. For that, he was penalized. He had to come in, stop fully, and then pull away. It cost him a lap, but Harvick manages to get the lap back and establish the fact that he is probably the dominant car on the property here today and took over the lead at lap 180, buddy. But that was not the way for your Sunday afternoon drive to start.
No, he had to really drive his heart out there, but the one thing that really helped him a lot was the fresher tires. He was able to run the leaders down because he had nothing to lose. Once he got back in the lead lap, he came in, got 4 fresh tires, and run the leaders back down, and that's the end result is he's leading right now as they come down for the flag.
Wrapping up our 6th caution and our 29th caution lap. Again, Kevin Harvick trying to hold off Randy LaJoie, Jeff Green, Elton Sawyer, and a super run for Bobby Hamilton Jr. still in 5th place.
Jason Keller in the 57, a lap down there, trying to get back that lap that he's down, but couldn't make it work there. And Randy LaJoie right now would like to be able to get by him. But you see, Jason Keller has a fast car. He can get that lap down earlier in the race.
Again, the 57 Keller. First car a lap down. We're riding with him. He's in 22nd.
Stay right on his tail.
That is Keller's radio we're listening to.
Boy, and a big call for the 36 there. That's Tim Fedewa. He has 3 broken vertebrae from a motorcycle accident going home the other day, and right outside of Charlotte there, hit a car, went over the car, landed on his feet, and broke 3 vertebrae. He's out there running a very, very tough race right now. And he's in, what, 6th spot now?
Yeah, not to mention all the cuts and bruises and all that he suffered as well. Said the hardest thing for him was not running at Rockingham last week, watching the car go out there with Jeffrey Bodine on board without his services.
Well, I tell you, I go to the gym where he works out all the time, and they did a body fat count on him, and he's 11% body fat. Most weightlifters don't have that type of conditioning, so that probably saved him from being hurt a lot worse than he was.
2nd place battle on your screen.
Still there.
Listening to Jeff Green's radio as he powers past Randy LaJoie.
Clear.
They are 1 3/10.
Keep digging. We're going to be fine.
1 3/10 seconds behind the leader, Kevin Harvick.
Here comes Elton Sawyer now, putting a lot of heat on Randy LaJoie as they come down the front straightaway.
25 to go. 25.
Cruz informing the driver as to the lap count. Does Jeff Green have anything saved up for one last ditch chase of the race leader, Kevin Harvick? Remember that blue and white 48 of McLaughlin? Not on the lead lap. He's a lap down in 23rd.
25 laps to go. That's the lap car behind you. Just keep digging.
You heard Randy LaJoie being given that same information, Larry Mack. 25 to go.
Well, Eli, I talked to Johnny Allen, his crew chief, and one team that did not want to see caution flags was this one car of Randy LaJoie. They have been good on long runs. That's what got them to the front with the few cautions that we had in the first part of the race. And as you've been alluding to, all these cautions have not been good for that Bob Evans car.
We're going to take one last break and come back to take you the rest of the way as we close in on the finish of the Samstown 250 here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. It's simple. Can that blue car hold off the yellow car from lap 235 to lap 250? 15 laps remaining. Meanwhile, Tim Fedua grabs fourth place from Randy LaJoie. But only 0.8 of a second now separate Kevin Harvick, the race leader, from second place Jeff Green. Glenn Jarrett, what are you hearing from Harold Holley? Can they make one last-ditch effort or not?
Well, it's nail-biting time, Harold. You got past LaJoie for second. You're gaining on Harvick, but do you have enough time to catch him and pass him?
Well, I hope so. I tell you, feel like we should have fitted there about lap 117. Kevin and them made the right call. We was trying to run the race on two sets of tires there. Kevin used up his tires, so we'll see how it plays out. But right now, Jeff's awful good. He's a little bit better. I think he's got time to catch him. It's going to be an awful good show here at the end.
Okay, we think so, too. One thing to remember, guys, and we've said it many times, catching him's one thing, passing him's another. When you get up real tight on the bumper of somebody here, takes a little air off the nose of your car, makes your car a little bit tight. It's awfully hard to pass.
Well, I tell you one thing, I have to agree with Harold Holley as crew chief. Right now, he is closing in on our leader, Kevin Harvick. You see just in front of you, that's Kevin Harvick right now having to deal with some lap traffic, able to hold that car right on the bottom of the racetrack, though. Jeff Green, very quick.
All clear.
Do you drive even harder?
All right, buddy, here it comes. Right here it comes.
We have caution on the speedway.
Caution's out. Caution is out. Caution's out. Let Jason
Caution on the speedway for a piece of debris that has just come off of two cars that tangled on the back straightaway. There it is right there. So debris on the racetrack at lap 238.
Jason Keller got his lap back in the 57.
And the leader remains Kevin Harvick. Keller in 22nd, now on the lead lap. Now, did Jeff Green want to see the caution or not, Buddy Baker?
Well, he's closer to Harvick. That's the only thing I can tell you. And you see them going back and forth there and keeping those race tires as clean as they can so they have maximum grip when they do get back under green. I would say, why not? Let's rest up and see what we have.
Jeff Green has already won the championship.
Oh, right here it is, Charles. Got a piece between 3 and 4. Picking it up right now.
You hear them telling Jeff why the debris, or why the caution. It was for the debris. It actually came out behind him. That's why Jeff wasn't aware of what had transpired. Larry Mack, nail-biting time.
Well, it really is, Eli. I'm going to step back in time 8 days ago, Rockingham, North Carolina. A little closer to the end, Jeff Burton winning the race, Jeff Green running second. What won the race for Jeff Green was that last restart. Todd Berrier just towed Kevin Harvick. Remember, Jeff Green is probably, next to Ron Hornaday, one of the best restarters that there is.
Meanwhile, Harold Holley, the championship crew chief, tickled to death to have the title, but he also wants the win here today. Looking at the numbers here, we talked earlier on the show as we came on the air how Jeff has totally obliterated Sam Ard's old record for the largest point margin at the end of a season. The way things are going now, he could even spread it some more from the 536-point lead that he enjoys right now. Jeff Green can be up to like 570 or 600 points before it's over.
And Jason Keller now, he's back in the lead lap. He's taking on 4 tires. He may run out of time, but he's going to be the quickest car on the racetrack. When they do get back under green, fresh tires under that car, he may be a factor.
You'll have maybe 8 laps of racing on a 3/4 mile lap track.
Let me take that back then. He may pick up some spots, but he won't be a factor to win. It's between these guys that we're looking at right now. Kevin Harvick and the 10 car there, Jeff Green.
This is going to be a good one. Interesting finish coming up here, especially in light, as Larry said, of what transpired here on TNN last Saturday at Rockingham, knowing Jeff Green's restart ability.
And don't forget this, in the 98 there, Elton Sawyer sitting right there. They could run down in the corner, slide into each other. He might get a good shot down on the bottom side of the racetrack. It could be more than just 2 cars here at the end.
The field getting the 1 to go signal.
Buddy. 1 to go at the stretch, single file.
And it is single file. We are inside of 10 laps remaining in the race. NASCAR has what is known appropriately as the 10-lap rule. If you're inside of 10 laps remaining before the end of the event,
right here. You are the man. Let's do it.
It is a single file restart, and only those cars on the lead lap can start up front. If you're a lap down or more, you're going to fall in behind.
Eli, when you hear your crew chief tell you you're the man, let's do it, that's like taking a shower and a good drink of Gatorade, man. That pumps you up and ready for the green flag when they come around here.
This is going to be a great shootout.
What it's all about. You're the man.
I wonder how everybody can be the man. The man seems to be in all the cars we're listening to right here.
I don't know. That rabbit's got a smile on his face.
There's Michelle Green, Jeff's wife. They've already got the championship clinched. But how about win number 7 on the season and number 11 on the career?
And right now they're thinking perfect restart, perfect restart. Kevin Harvick thinking don't let him get on the outside.
Who's your money on, buddy?
Too smart for that.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Picture shows you not identical on the starts. They both had good starts.
Kevin Harvick got a great grip from the center part of the racetrack. Elton Sawyer looking to the inside as they head down the back straightaway here. Couldn't quite make the move on Jeff Green.
There will be no traffic to deal with. Will not catch anybody in 7 laps.
7 more, buddy. 7 more. 7 more.
Everybody gets through middle of the pack. Kyle Petty there in the 45, running in 22nd spot. Meanwhile, the battle for second. Elton Sawyer in the white car brings Fedua along with him and will possibly punt Jeff Green back to 4th.
Tim Fedua only has to stay side by side. As he head down in turn 3, he should make the spot because it's quicker on the bottom. Fedua takes over 3rd, slides out.
Couldn't hang on. Fedua, who finished 9th here a year ago, backslides after that move. But that might have been enough to let Harvick grab the win here today.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. there moved up another spot also. He's in 5th spot.
It is Harvick, Elton Sawyer, then Green, LaJoie, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. Here comes Hank Parker Jr. Problems on the right front of the automobile. And he's going to come on around towards the pit lane. And his afternoon is effectively done. He's running in the top 20, but now a backslide. Here's a Bobby Hamilton Jr. battle with Tim Fedua for 5th. Atwood in the green 27. He's in the mix also. And so is Jimmy Johnson in that blue and white Alltel car.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. just got caught on the outside there. He lost 4 spots in 1 lap.
Lap 247, 3 to go.
Levi Kevin Harvick has been the quickest car all day long, and he's making it look awful easy right now. It's going to be tough right now for Elton Sawyer to close in anymore on this car, but he looks like he is closing in.
Going to give it a run if he can. Kevin Harvick.
White flag. One more lap.
He's won at St. Louis at Gateway International and at the Bristol Motor Speedway back on August the 25th. Trying for his third win of the year. Jeff Green will win the championship, but Kevin Harvick wins the Samstown 250 here at Memphis Motorsports Park. Win number 3 of the year for him, with Elton Sawyer finishing second, Jeff Green third, Randy LaJoie fourth, Tim Fedowa crosses the stripe in fifth. Sixth will be Casey Atwood. Bobby Hamilton Jr. backslides to seventh. Then Jimmy Johnson, Jay Sauter, and Jeff Purvis. That is how they come across the stripe, the top 10.
I wonder if we'll have a double burnout today.
Could be. Could be. And a third win for Harvick. That is a record for a rookie in the NASCAR Busch Series. After the victories we told you about at Gateway International outside of St. Louis and Bristol.
I just saw something pretty classy. Jeff Green stopped, let Kevin Harvick move up. He's waiting down, and he's going to let him do his burnout, and he's going to come up here and do the same thing.
John Force couldn't have done it any better across the street at the drag strip. A beautiful burnout. And now the champion you see near the top of the screen. Dual Donuts.
Oh, man.
Huh? Dueling Donuts in Memphis. A race winner and a champion emerging through the smoke. Jeff Green wins the 2000 NASCAR Busch Series title.
Kevin Harvick won the race, but he won the burnout by far. You couldn't see the car or him. He was on top of the car, and all of a sudden the smoke goes away. He's outside the car all of a sudden.
All we missed were a few theatrical lights. It couldn't have been done any better. We will have both of these celebrations for you, folks. There's David Green coming out to celebrate the brother of the champion. We will be with you in Victory Lane. We'll talk with and ride around this racetrack with the champion. We've got lots coming up from Memphis, Tennessee, as the celebrations will be ongoing for both Kevin Harvick and Jeff Green. I'll tell you, Harvick did himself a job. Larry McReynolds.
I tell you, Kevin Harvick's coming out of the car. He's going to celebrate a little bit first. He's a little hard on this roof right here. Todd Berry told me this was going to be the Phoenix car, so I don't know. And I'm getting my first Victory Lane bash. Kevin Harvick, what an awesome run there. Third win of the season. What was going through your mind when you saw that black flag on lap 1?
Man, I let him down again. I let him down in qualifying and screwed up my second lap, but I tell you what, RCR organization, can't say enough about them. I mean, it's a never-quit organization, and I knew if I quit, they'd be mad at me. So this AC Delco Monte Carlo was awesome all day long, and I don't know what else to say. It was fun. Made a show out of it anyway. We want to thank Glenn Wallace. His dad's got cancer back at home, and he helps us out a ton on this race car, and we wish him the best.
Well, let's tell a story that hadn't been told this week about this race car and this racetrack. You come up here and tested a few weeks ago. I know you guys was back at the shop all smiles, but then kind of had a little stumbling block there.
Yeah, we wrecked the car at Kentucky, and, you know, it's just one of those deals. Can't do nothing about it, and that was the car we come down here and tested. We spent 2 solid days here testing, and, you know, we figured a couple things out, and obviously it paid off for us here today.
Think this race car go to Phoenix if they can get the roof beat back up on it?
We got enough. I think we can. We got the other one that's won twice, so we'll just put this one away and save it for next year.
All right, well, that's today's winner, Kevin Harvick in the AC Delco Chevrolet. 2 races to go, and he's closing in on that 3rd and 2nd place in points.
Super afternoon for Kevin Harvick. We have got 2 celebrations going on here. One for the race winner, one for the champion. We'll cover them both when we come back. end of the season in Jeff Green's world was turned upside down at Daytona International Speedway, but a 42nd place finish there yielded success the rest of the way. Unparalleled success for Jeff Green, and today he has clinched the 2000 NASCAR Busch Series Championship. There is our champion, and Glenn Jarrett is with him.
And can you imagine that big smile on Jeff Green's face today? Jeff, once again, congratulations to the newly crowned champion. Man, what an awesome performance you guys gave this year.
Thank you, Glenn. Man, it's I'm glad that it's over, the championship, but we still got 2 races to go, try to win them. But come up a little short today. Just drove my guts out there at the end. Kevin might have had a little bit better car. He had track position on us anyway, and we were so even that just wore my tires out there at the end and just run my guts out today to try to win this. Try to put the icing on the cake, for you say, and just been a great year for Nesquik and everybody involved with our race car, Coffee Mate and Tow House and everybody on our car. It's just been a great year for them and Jeff Green, man. It's just been an awesome season for me.
Well, Jeff, all this started last year. You guys came on, finished very strongly in the championship chase last year, finished second, pointing to that Nesquik, which he loves.
I'm not going to put it on you.
Well, thank you so much. Took my dry cleaner 6 times to get that out of my shirt. But you guys were so strong, and from the middle, really from the beginning of last season on, and things you haven't let up since then, this is a great organization you're with.
Well, it is, and I get to showcase my talent a little bit, and Harold and the guys. Harold does a great job on tuning this race car, Chevrolet, to make it perform like it does. And we just, was a little bit off, just a little bit there at the end of the race to beat Kevin. But, man, when we go to the racetrack, I know we have an opportunity to win no matter where we're at, Glenn. And when you have that opportunity, that's good for a driver. And anytime you can sit in a seat like that, I'm just the blessed one to be sitting in the seat. I mean, a lot of guys could do the same job I'm doing, but I'm very blessed. And the good Lord looked after me in my career. Good Lord looked after everybody today, gave us a great, safe day.
Well, once again, congratulations from all of us to you at TNN. What a great job. Go over there and celebrate, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And when we come back, the championship celebration continues. Some hardware to be presented. We'll take care of all that when we return to Memphis. To the Memphis Motorsports Park here in Memphis, Tennessee. TNN Sports with live coverage of the Samstown 250 and the Jeff Green Championship celebration. Let's go back downstairs and pick up all the activities, because this man has done something this year that is unprecedented in NASCAR. He has totally rewritten the record books in the chase for a championship. The championship trophy having been handed to Jeff Green and the entire Nesquik racing team. Coming home in 3rd spot here today, but right now finds himself having already undone the numbers that were posted by the legendary Sam Ard years ago in capturing the NASCAR Late Model Sportsman Championship, as it was called, and the NASCAR Busch Series title. Harold Holly, Jeff Green, and the entire Nesquik team enjoying the spoils of the championship here in Memphis this afternoon. Buddy Baker, when you ran in your championship or in your career, rarely did you run the entire schedule. Back in those days, you did a lot of testing, and only a couple, 3 times ran the entire schedule. But still, you came home in the top 5 in points, and I know how proud you were. You can imagine what Jeff Green is feeling here today.
Well, I can, and talking to Jeff Green, it was just a few years back, everybody thought he had pretty much done what he was going to do in Busch Grand National. He was with the Earnhardt team. All of a sudden, he didn't have that ride anymore, and the question marks about what was going to happen to Jeff Green. He regrouped, got with a great group of people. He and Harold Holly have done so much together. This race team, I asked about the 2 teams. I said, what's it like to have 2 teams? Is there bickering between the 2? He said, we have 1 team and 2 cars. That's what we have. Great teamwork between he and Jason Keller. So there you see Jeff Green, a guy that was pretty much out and down on his luck. All of a sudden, he's a champion here. He's earned it. That whole team, it's a team effort. Drivers don't win championships. It's a team effort.
The celebration is going to be ongoing for quite a while, but meanwhile, Larry McReynolds is caught up with another gentleman who is deserving of a smile here today. our fourth-place finisher, Randy LaJoy.
Well, Randy LaJoy, 37th to 4th. Not bad there. Just couldn't get up there at the end.
The Wolfman run out of chocolate. We had a good car, the Bob Evans car. You know, I'm not sure what happened qualify. We're just slow, and we're pretty decent in happy hour, and a little tight to start the run. And come up a little ways. The best part was, you know, they made a call to come in and put 4 tires on, and it went green, luckily, for a long ways. And that gave us great track position. I mean, I chased the 2 car through traffic, come into pits 4th, and I've been hard on the guys all year for not good pit stops, and they busted off a good one and kept us in the top 5 and come out 2nd. And I just didn't have nothing for the 4 car. You know, those guys are a little bit better than me right through the middle of the corner, and I pedaled as hard as I could. You know, we haven't given the Bob Evans people a whole lot to cheer about the last month, and Phoenix Racing come through, and, you know, it was a good day. It was a good day. Hopefully we can do this twice more here at the end of the year.
You know, I commented during the race. Did you want to see the long green runs like in the beginning of the race, or what do you think the cautions may have hurt you at the end?
Well, at the end, it didn't hurt us at all, but I think the one that did hurt us is when we put tires on, myself and Harvick, and about 3 or 4 of us did, and we caught that caution there, you know, with about 70 to go. I mean, if that would have went another 40 or 50 laps, I think we could have had a lot more cars to lap down, and me and Kevin would have been, you know, fighting for the lead ourselves because we're on a different tire cycle than everybody else. But all in all, it was a great day for the Bob Evans Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and, you know, Ron Herter Motors, we did some things to the motor this morning, and, you know, too bad there's only 2 races left because we learned some stuff.
All right, I'm going to go back upstairs to Eli and see what's going on up there.
All right, Larry Mack, thank you, and a good run for Randy LaJoy and that entire bunch. Kevin Harvick wins the race. Jeff Green wins the championship as our coverage from Memphis rolls on. The celebration continues. Jeff and Michelle Green, Harold Holly, the entire Nesquik crew celebrating their championship. That was clinched here today in the NASCAR Busch Series race in Memphis. By virtue of just starting the Samstown 250, the championship was theirs, and they came so close to winning the race, leading through lap 180 of the 250 laps. But then it was Kevin Harvick who was black flagged at the very beginning of the race for jumping the initial start of the event. He came charging on back and took home the win. Why don't we check out the rundown now and let you know exactly how your favorites came on home. Super run for Bobby Hamilton Jr. You know something? Look at that, buddy. Look at all the youth among the top 10 in today's race.
Boy, I'd say NASCAR is healthy. Just all the young guys. Harvick, he'll be in the Winston Cup car before too very long. I'm sure Richard Childress and all the guys right now are going, man, we got to move him up pretty soon.
Some good runs right there in the top 20. Kyle Petty coming home in 21st. Dick Trickle had an accident midway through the event. Ted Christopher, starting 29th, finishes in 28th. And the brothers Parker, 34th and 35th today.
Yeah, and Billy, first time ever in Busch Grand National, qualified 9th, had a good run, and I'm sure he got a lot of seat time that'll be valuable to him later on in his Busch Grand National career.
Good look at the Memphis Motorsports Park, D-shaped racetrack here outside of downtown Memphis. Tim Fedua with a 9th place run last year backs it up with a 5th place finish here today. Larry?
Well, that's right, Eli. I'm here with Tim Fedua, and if anything describes Tim Fedua, what I saw a few weeks ago, it's got to be guts. Started 12th, Tim, come to 5th. Good and solid all day.
Yeah, we had great pit stops, had a good little race car. You know, he was a little loose on the long run, but we just kept, you know, working on it and adjusting it, and got it pretty good. You know, I was a little worried about my back, but, you know, Randy's seat, I got a Randy LaJoy seat in there, and that thing's really supportive of me, and it just felt good. And I got a little cramped up, but never, you know, never had to worry about it. We were just, I got a little excited there at the end when on the restart and got under Jeff, and I thought I had him for a spot, and drove in. A couple cars got back under us, but other than that, we had a pretty good car. You know, the 2-car obviously was the class of the field today. I don't know what he had, but he was pretty good today.
You good and ready for these last 2 races at Phoenix and finishing up at Homestead?
Yeah, you know, these short tracks, like we were talking earlier, are really, we really run good as a team at, and I'm looking forward to them, and can't wait to get to Phoenix.
Well, that's the guys we saw a few weeks ago, injured pretty severely in a motorcycle accident. Good to see him back here today and with a good, solid top 5 finish.
See the little pain there on the face of Fedua as he kind of moves gingerly.
You know, talk about his back all the time, 3 broken vertebrae, but the motorcycle bounced back into his face and missed his eye, his right eye, by just a 1/16 of an inch. If it had hit him in the eye, I'm sure it would have been very, very serious.
Congratulations to Kevin Harvick. He wins the race. He is also the Bryant Hot Driver of the Race Award winner. Folks, you freezing cold? Call Bryant to the rescue at 1-888-999-BRYANT. We've got more of the post-race celebrations from Memphis when we continue on TNN. After David Green won the NASCAR Busch Series championship in 1994, it was backed up by his brother Jeff Green today. First time ever that brothers have won the NASCAR Busch Series championship. The celebration continues as we go downstairs to Glenn Jarrett.
And Eli, I'm awash in a sea of green, or maybe I should say greens, that is. The first one here to my right is Dave Green, the proud father of Jeff Green, and I've got the two brothers, Mark and David. I'll get a quick word with them, but you got to be awfully proud of your son there, Dave.
I'm very proud of Jeff, Mark, and David, and you know we've got 2 championships so far in the Green family, and we'd like to have one more at least.
Well, we'd like to see that too, and let's go over here and talk to Mark and Dave. Congratulations to your family again, Dave. Mark Green, I know that you're proud of your two brothers. They got championships. That's next on your agenda.
Kind of got in the hot seat now. David got his, and Jeff's done an awesome job this year, that whole team, and couldn't be more prouder than Greg Pollack, Harold Holly, everybody, and maybe next year or year after I can get mine.
Well, we hope we're talking to you under these same circumstances, and you won that championship back in 1994. Special feeling. Great day for your family, David Green.
Boy, it is. Only bad part about it, Mark and I wasn't up there racing him, but it's a great feeling. I got to say thanks to that whole team for supporting Jeff all year long. Jeff's had a fire in his eye ever since '94, I think, to be up there and join me. So to be the first brothers to do it in NASCAR history is pretty special.
That is special. I tell you, this is a great family guy. They're all standing around down here wanting to congratulate Jeff one more time. Let's go to Larry.
Well, Glenn, I'm here with the second place finisher, Elton. Elton, saw you had an awesome car today. Just couldn't get over that hump to try to get up there and win this thing.
Yeah, Larry, we had a great car. First of all, I want to say hi to Brad Akins, our car owner, and his wife, Julie. We're really thinking about y'all. And Madison, happy birthday. But we did have a great car, better on long runs. Tom Stewart had a great shock package under that thing. Really kept those Goodyear tires on it. We could keep Green in sight. And after that first lap deal, I thought maybe the 2 was not going to be around there at the end. But, man, he had an awful fast car, came back through there, and we finished second.
Yeah, running second with him today wasn't too bad. You did not need those cautions at the end, did you?
No, I didn't. I mean, the way the first part of the race went, I said, this is going to fall right into our hands. We're going to end up the race on a long run. And then we started having those cautions the last 50 laps, and we had 30-lap shootouts and 20-lap shootouts, and then like 8 to go there at the end. And I knew it was going to be awful tough, but, you know, we gave it our best shot.
Well, that's the story from the second-place finisher who's still in the thick of the points. And, guys, I want to just show you something. These teams just run 250 laps, but now Memphis is over. It's on to Phoenix. These guys have got to be in Phoenix on Thursday morning. You see 2 Kyle Petty cars here. They're swapping carburetors. They're swapping springs. Just like the Winston Cup team, it never ends. But the thing about it, they do it with a lot less people. So it's on to Phoenix on TNN next Saturday.
Indeed so, before the season wraps up at the Homestead Miami Speedway, and the 2000 racing season will be in the books. Buddy Baker is alongside. I'm Eli Gold. Glad you're able to spend your Sunday afternoon with us here in Memphis, Tennessee. This series, of course, has grown in monumental proportions, as seemingly all of motorsports has. But it wasn't that long ago that the level of competition and the dollars that we're seeing now is what we were spending and seeing in Winston Cup. This series has really just grown up. We've talked so much today about Sam Ard and Jack Ingram. This series has just grown up so profoundly over the years.
Exactly right. And you see Jeff Green down there right now. Over $1 million this year he's won. And he's done it the hard way. He started out the year upside down, as we said in Daytona, but has fought back. And there was one stretch there where he went almost 2.5 months. He did not have one finish out of the top 5.
Right.
Then he had a 10th place, and then he went another month without having any problems whatsoever with having top 5s.
Wonder how difficult it was, and we'll maybe be able to follow up another time with Kevin Harvick. After getting black flagged on the initial start of the race, you wonder how much that could have messed with his mind. And the guys just said, hey, calm down, we got plenty of time.
Let me tell you something. That crew chief probably told him, okay, you made a mistake. We have a great car. What you have to do is drive through it now. and drive through it he did. He handled himself well, didn't get himself into trouble with lap traffic. He could have easily, when he started back in the very back of the field, he could have knocked the front end off the car and wouldn't have been there to win the race.
We talked earlier about the youth that we saw in the top 10 finishers here today. Among that group, one Jimmy Johnson, who's in the garage area with Larry McReynolds.
Well, that's right. Jimmy Johnson started 9th, hung out in the top 10, faded a little bit, but come back to finish 8th. And you won an ASA race here as well. But how about your race car today?
It was a good car. We were really good in 1 and 2, but just couldn't get through 3 and 4 right all day long. During different parts of the runs, we could get through there well, but just a great job for everybody. The guys knocked off some awesome pit stops. They've been working real hard, and everybody in the fab shop, Fisher Engines, everybody's been working real hard, and this team's really coming together strong, and we're hoping to stay in the top 10 and finish up top 10 in points.
Well, Eli and Buddy, that's the story from the 8th place finisher, a guy that caught my eye a year ago by leading this race, and he gets another solid top 10 here at Memphis.
And as Larry says, he is a winner here in Memphis in the American Speed Association. Today here in Memphis, 2 winners, Kevin Harvick and Jeff Green. Well, the parade has begun, and right there on the championship float is one Glenn Jarrett.
Thanks, Eli. We're on a slow truck to somewhere. I don't know exactly where we're going, but Harold Holly, Jeff Green here in front of me, and once again, Harold Holly, you guys, this whole organization performed way, way above expectations, but that's pretty much what you expect out of them.
Yeah, I tell you, when we leave the shop every week, we always say we come here to win practice, win qualifying, and win the race. And we won a couple of practices and won qualifying, but we fell short on the race. But we didn't fall short on the championship. I tell you, it's due to because all these Nesquik race team guys right here and Jeff Green couldn't ask for anything any better.
Well, no, they certainly could not. Jeff Green giving the fans down here in turns 1. This is the first time I've ever been on this race. You don't drive way up here, do you, man?
Not unless you're in trouble, Glenn. You might drive up here, but not me. You know, I'm just kidding. This is a great old racetrack, and like Harold said, we come up a little bit short today, but we gave them all we had, and just come up a little bit short, but it was still a good day for us.
Let me ask you something now. A good portion of your career, of course, you're from Owensboro, Kentucky, but you got a lot of press. You won a lot of races, did a lot of racing in Nashville, Tennessee. And to clinch this thing in the state of Tennessee, that's got to be nice for you because there's a lot of your fans are from not too far away from here.
Well, a lot of my family and friends are here, too, and fans, like you say. I race a lot in Nashville, which is a couple hours from here, and it is great to clinch it here. We like to clinch it in Rockingham, close to Charlotte, you know, where we live now. But Jason had a great run there last year. Didn't get to do that, or last week, but it was a great day today. We just tried our guts out to try to win this race, put the icing on the cake, like I said earlier, and just come up a little bit short. But I'm still proud of my guys, man. We did all we could do and finished 3rd, but not because we wasn't trying.
Well, guys, you can hear the jubilation, the pride in their voices. These guys once again done a great job all year long, and we're entering turn 3 now, so I'm going to shut up and find out something to hold on to because I'm a little scared.
They've got the jet blower out there cleaning up the racetrack after the day's activities for the NASCAR Busch Series, and that was why everybody was reacting with fingers and ears and so on. Quite a run for those folks. You know who else had a good day today? Jay Sauter. He was up there battling for the lead, settles for a 9th place finish. But all in all, Larry Mack, I thought he had a pretty good day, didn't he?
Well, he did have a good day, but it was definitely an up and down day. A 9th place finish after battling for the lead there in the beginning, but you had to come back in. What happened on that deal, Jay?
Well, it's pretty unfortunate. We broke a brake line on the right rear. I think a chunk of rubber got wrapped around it and just tore it off there. You know, the Quality Farm Country Chevy was pretty good right from the get-go. We were just real fortunate. They tried to refill the rear cylinder. It started leaking again, and the pedal went to the floor. I ran the last 100 laps with no brakes, and Jeff Purvis behind us, he was real kind to us there at the end, and we came home with a top 10.
This is definitely not the type of racetrack that you want to be running with not very good brakes, and you run a lot of laps, as you said, with not very good brakes.
No, I'll tell you what, the car handled so good that we were real fortunate. I could just back off early and roll into the corner, still get a good run off, and keep the guys behind us. So all in all, it was a pretty good day. We'll just get on with Phoenix.
I know it'd be total speculation, but as good as you was in the beginning, do you think if it had not been for the brake problem, you think you'd had anything for that 2 car?
I'll tell you what, the 2 car was tough from the minute it unloaded. I'd like to think we could have been in contention for a top 3. Tell you what, the 2 car was strong, but we'd like to give it a shot.
Well, guys, that's a story from a guy that had a good day, battles his way back from the rear, and come up with a 9th place finish.
And of course, next Saturday here on TNN, it's Phoenix International Raceway. Not exactly like this racetrack, basically flat as a pancake. Some similar characteristics, but it really takes a different kind of feel to run Phoenix.
Exactly right. Two different types of racetracks. 1 and 2, of course, like Major Speedway corner. Then you go down the back straightaway. You got a little dog leg on the back straightaway. Then 2 flat corners at the far end down there. Pretty tough.
And then, of course, the season wraps up at Homestead Miami Speedway. But for that man, it's already wrapped up. He'll try and win the remaining races, but the championship is his. Back to Memphis after this. Sports Park, Millington, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. A D-shaped oval, low banking, high excitement. That was certainly the case today with Kevin Harvick after being black flagged on the initial start of the race, coming on to win while battling his way back all afternoon long. So Jeff Green with 6 wins, 2 races remaining. Mark Martin with his 5 victories, and on down the line through Joe Nemechek, who is one of a handful to have pulled down a single victory. Good competitive racing this year, buddy.
It has been a great year, and like you say, I think Green this year, there's no question about Jeff Green epitomizes what Busch Grand National is all about. When you think you're really down on your luck, you come back, you get with a great team, and you show everybody what a championship is made of. It's all teamwork. Good driver, good crew.
Ron Hornaday, who is looking to be a 3-time winner in the rookie season for him, came up short today. He finishes 14th. There he is with Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, I have caught up with Ron Hornaday. Kind of a just clawing and fighting day, Ron. Looked up one time, he was in the top 10, then you pitted late there. And how was your car today?
Well, it was great. I mean, yesterday in Happy Hour, we had a great car. We just didn't put enough adjustments in. The weather cooled down, and we even pulled a left rear rubber out, which should loosen the car up, and it did. It made the car tighter. So it ran decent all day. We just couldn't get track position. And when track position means everything around here at Memphis. So normal short track race, both sides are beat off of it, and their nose and the tail's beat off. So when you run in the middle of the pack, that's what happens.
Well, let's swap gears for just a minute. How's Ron Hornaday looking for 2001? Are we about to zero in on something?
I hope so. Hopefully next week at Phoenix we can announce something. But right now it's great to have Dale and Teresa give the opportunity in the last 6 years, what they've done for me and my family, and then getting all these phone calls from some great people, some great offers to drive their cars and stuff like that. So it really opened my eyes up. It kind of grew me up a little bit about the racing situation, but it's a job, I guess. Now we figured that out. So right now, hopefully at Phoenix we can announce something, and it looks real good. We got a great sponsor, and the guy I hopefully we can drive for is a pretty good legend.
Well, let's talk about Phoenix, because that race will be on TNN as well. I think that's where last year that people knew Ron Hornaday and this 3 Busch team, they was going to be serious this year. Awesome run there last year. I kind of consider that your home turf there. How do you look for Phoenix? And then look into Homestead.
It looks real good. You know, right now, you know, that's not the same tire, and you know, the motor situation right now is not the same. So we're looking forward to going out there and running the top 5. I mean, you got to know the track. I know Kevin Harvick knows the track. And a lot of guys ran out there last year, so everybody knows the racetrack. So we're looking pretty good. It's going home and seeing all the friends and family and all the fans. So it's going to be exciting.
Well, that's a story from the truck champion and a guy that trying to hold on there to that second place in the rookie standings and catch Kevin Harvick and trying to hunt himself a job for next year. And I'm sure he's going to get one, guys.
I believe he will. If the rumor mill is correct, he may well be in the future for a guy who has won both at Indianapolis and Daytona. But we'll let Ron make that announcement next week. Memphis Motorsports Park. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series, and that is what's coming your way next. The season finale of the USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet Series. You think the championship was a question mark in NASCAR? Well, not so in the Busch Series, but it's very much up for grabs in the season finale. 3 drivers still with a shot at winning the championship, and you'll be seeing that upcoming here in just a few moments, live from Memphis, Tennessee. Again, there's the rundown today. Kevin Harvick, after being black flagged on the start of the event, coming on to win. Some good pit strategy and a fine, fine day for him and, of course, for Jeff Green, our champion.
Absolutely. And Kevin Harvick there at one time was out of the race, and then he fought his way back up there, got fresh tires, passed the leaders, got back in the lead lap, and was on his way. I'm telling you, I thought he was going to make a lap on the whole field there because he was so much quicker. Then the caution came out, changed the whole complex of the race, but Kevin Harvick he fought through adversity and won today.
The NASCAR Busch Series will be back on TNN again next Saturday from Phoenix International Raceway. We certainly hope you can make your plans to join us. Though the championship is wrapped up, the honors on a week-to-week basis continue, and we'll have the race from Phoenix next Saturday. That's going to do it for now for the NASCAR Busch Series. Again, reminder, the USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet Series. They are going racing live here in Memphis. You will see it in just a moment or so from right now. For Buddy Baker, for Glenn Jarrett, for Larry McReynolds, I'm Eli Gold. Congratulating that man, Jeff Green. He's the champion. Kevin Harvick, the race winner in Memphis. USAC Racing is next. So long, everybody. See you in a moment.